Have you always imagined yourself owning real estate but don't know where to even start? Let's be honest, investing in real estate isn't as simple as buying a lemonade stand and selling it on a hot day. It's a significant financial commitment that comes with substantial risks. And if that doesn't scare you off, just think about the time commitment that is required. But don't worry, I'm here to tell you that none of this has to stop you from getting started as long as you have a game plan in place. And lucky for you, we've got the ultimate guide on how to buy your first rental property in 9 easy steps. Now, first and foremost, we need to start with number 9, ask yourself if you're ready. Before you start dreaming about passive income flowing into your bank account, you need to make sure you're ready for the responsibilities that come with it. Being a landlord is not all about kicking back and watching the rent money roll in. It involves a lot of hard work and dedication. You'll need to be able to handle tenants, create rental applications, lease agreements, and collect rent. And that's not all. Unexpected maintenance issues can pop up at any time, so you need to be prepared to deal with those as well. Let's face it, being a landlord is like being a superhero. You need to be able to handle everything that comes your way. So ask yourself, am I ready for this? Number 8, build your down payment. Saving for a rental property down payment isn't too different from saving for a down payment on a house you plan to live in. However, you'll need to put down a minimum of 20% plus closing costs, which typically run 3 to 5% of the purchase price. So if you're eyeing a $100,000 property, you'll need to save at least $25,000 to get started. When buying a rental property, have cash reserves saved up for any unexpected expenses. I'm talking about things like repairs, vacancies, and property management costs. A good rule of thumb is to save up 6 months' worth of rental property expenses. Now I know what you're thinking, but I live in an expensive city. How am I supposed to afford a rental property? I urge you to consider investing somewhere the numbers make sense, not necessarily somewhere close to you. Trust me, there are $100,000 properties all over the country that could make great rentals. Keep your eyes peeled because in a minute I will tell you exactly what just might be your ticket to heaven in real estate. But before that, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Help us spread this video by sharing it to others as well. Number 7, select a market. Now the next question on your mind is probably, where the heck should I buy this property? Well, the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question. It all depends on what you're looking for. There are markets all over the country that are ripe for the picking. One thing to keep in mind is the rent-to-price ratio. Basically, you want to find a market where the average home price is low compared to the average rent. So if you're looking at a market where the average rent is $2,000 per month and the average home price is $400,000, you might want to think twice. But if you find a market where the average rent is $1,000 per month and the average home price is $100,000, that's more like it. Number 6, know your rent price and operating expenses. While some landlords browse rental sites to gauge the competition, investing in an Avail rent analysis report can provide more comprehensive insights on rental comparisons, demand, and more. Here's a tip. Don't be fooled by underpricing your rent or overpricing your property. Do your research. In addition to rent, operating expenses can add up quickly. These costs include maintenance, repairs, online listings, apartment turnovers, and tenant screening reports. Depending on your property's location, the frequency of apartment turnovers, and how extensively you screen tenants, each expense can vary. Keep in mind that skipping necessary repairs or cutting corners on tenant screening can cost you more in the long run. Remember, being a landlord is not just about collecting rent, it's also about managing expenses and maintaining a profitable property. Number 5, set up the right legal entities. And now let's talk about something that's not quite as thrilling, and that's liability. Sure, you could buy a rental property in your own name, but let me tell you, it's a risky move. You'll be exposing yourself to unlimited liability, and no amount of homeowner's insurance is going to save you from that. Want my advice? Get yourself a qualified attorney who knows how to structure legal entities for real estate investors. Take it from me, this isn't the time to skimp on legal fees with a quickie LegalZoom approach. Proper legal structuring is all about minimizing your risk, and that's what you want, right? Now, for most investors, a limited liability company or LLC is a smart choice, but here's the catch. It might make financing a bit tougher to come by. But hey, if it means protecting yourself from being personally liable, then it's worth the extra effort. And here's a little word of caution. Don't trust every lawyer you come across in the real estate world. Some of them might try to recommend shady strategies that push the boundaries of the law, so choose your attorney wisely. Number 4. Purchase landlord insurance. Let's think of it as a safety net for your property. You never know what kind of mischief your tenants might get into. Maybe they accidentally set fire to the kitchen while trying to cook up a storm, or perhaps they throw a wild party that gets a little out of hand. Either way, the landlord insurance can protect you from financial losses in case of any unexpected mishaps. The good news is that most insurance providers offer different levels of coverage for landlords. So whether you're renting out a studio apartment or a multi-family home, there's a policy out there that can meet your needs. Just make sure you shop around and compare quotes to get the best deal. But while landlord insurance can cover damage to your property, I still recommend requiring your tenants to purchase their own renter's insurance. This way, their personal belongings can be protected during the lease term. In short, landlord insurance is a must-have for any savvy landlord. It's a small investment that can provide big peace of mind. Number 3. Familiarize yourself with landlord-tenant laws. Make sure you know your local landlord-tenant laws like the back of your hand. These laws can be a bit of a pain, but they're in place to protect both you and your tenants. That is why, take the time to read through them and make sure you're following all the rules. You also need to make sure you're up to date on any fair housing laws that may impact your rental business. This means treating all potential tenants equally, regardless of race, religion, or any other personal factors. And yes, don't forget about security deposits, tenant screening, and evictions, all of which can be impacted by these pesky laws. Keep an eye out for any changes that may come your way and make sure you're always on the right side of the law. Number 2. Look for deals. For this one, you need to set up a strategy with your realtor to find properties and use your property manager to evaluate rental rates on any properties you find. Don't limit yourself to just on-market deals. Get creative and explore off-market opportunities to increase your chances of finding the perfect property. Once you found a property that checks all your boxes, make an offer. Stick to your guns and only buy a property if the numbers make sense to you. And if you need some tips on getting your offer accepted, check out some of the resources available online. Remember, finding the right property takes time and patience. For every 100 properties you consider, you might only make offers on 10 and have one accepted. But don't get discouraged. Evaluate lots of deals, at least one per day, and plan to win some deals. The more deals you see, the better you'll become at evaluating properties, and the closer you'll be to achieving your dream of becoming a successful real estate investor. Number 1. Close the deal. We're almost done, but there are a few things you need to do before you can pop the champagne and celebrate. First, you'll need to have a home inspection and order an appraisal. These are rudimentary steps to ensure that the property is in good condition and that you're not overpaying. You'll also need to work with your lender to arrange the loan. This can be a bit of a headache, but it's a necessary step to secure financing for your new rental property. Once you've worked through all the nitty-gritty details, you'll finally be ready to close the deal. Now it's time to sit back, relax, and let your property manager guide you through placing a tenant. Speaking of property management, have you considered using landlord software to streamline the rental process? These softwares are fantastic options that allow you to create custom rental applications, access lawyer-reviewed lease agreements, and even collect rental fees online. Utilize free websites such as apartments.com that let you automate the entire landlord-tenant process without paying a dime out of pocket. Plus, you can keep everything in one place instead of juggling multiple platforms. So why not invest in one? The point of the matter is that when it comes to real estate, you need to arm yourself with knowledge, a solid plan, and a little bit of courage. It's true that there's always some risk involved in investing, but with a smart approach, it's possible to minimize the risk while reaping the rewards. And hey, who doesn't want to set themselves up for long-term financial success? If you like this video, make sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. In fact, if you want to know exactly how to purchase your first rental property with no down payment or upfront costs, watch this video next, where I'll teach you step by step exactly how to close the deal. So click the video on the screen now, and we'll see you in the next one.